Hi and welcome. I'm Robert Osborne, and this April's Star of the Month here on TCM is Anthony Quinn, the Oscar-winning actor who would have turned 100 years old on April 21st. Well, each Wednesday in prime time, we have samples of the work of Anthony Quinn at all stages of his career. On the second Wednesday of the month, we're going to focus on the wide range of ethnic characters that Tony Quinn played in movies and did so as impressively as I think any actor has ever done in films. Joining me to discuss our first two films is Tom Roberts, a film historian, a professor, and biographer who co-authored the gorgeous book, Anthony Quinn's Eye, A Lifetime of Creating and Collecting Art. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Robert. I'm so glad to be here.
Good to have you here. Now, first I have to say, how did you get so interested in Tony Quinn and this movie and this book?
Well, I teach at Rhode Island School of Design. I teach film history, among other things. And Tony Quinn spent his last 12 years of his life in Rhode Island, living in Bristol, and he was very much a part of our community. So his being there, my being interested in film, it just all sort of came together.
So now talk a little about him and his ethnic roles that he played.
Yeah, well, he started off, I mean, he probably was born 15 years too late. If he had been starting in the early 20s instead of the mid-30s, he might have fit into the Rudolph Valentino, Ramon Navarro mold as the Latin lover, because that certainly was his look. He was a beautiful young man. I mean, had great ethnic Hispanic look. He was Mexican, half Irish. But by the time he came around in the late 30s, then people with an ethnic look began to play what they referred to as exotics.
Right.
And they were usually the heavies. So his first big role was as a Native American facing up against Gary Cooper in The Plainsman. And so ever after that, once you make a face, a name for yourself in Hollywood, you get typecast. So he played all sorts of ethnics. Every time they had the need for, he played a Hawaiian shortly after that, an Eskimo.
Lots of Indians.
Lots of Indians, lots of Mexicans,
Asians,
Italians, Chinese.
Yeah. So what are we going to see? What is our first film that we're going to see?
Well, the first film we're going to see actually is a film made in Europe, is La Strada. And in the 50s, it was a popular thing for Hollywood actors to go over, make a good amount of money for a little bit of work, working for some very quickly done Italian film at Cinecittà's studio. So he was over there making a film for Dino De Laurentiis, or two actually, but he was playing Attila. And he made a couple of quickie films. One was called Donne Proibite, Forbidden Women. And one of the other performers in it, the star nominally was Linda Darnell, but also in it was Giulietta Messina, who was a young Italian actress. He really didn't know her for much of anything, but she kept talking about her husband who wanted to make films. Fellini, through his wife, says, I have this movie I would really like you to look at. So they got together. And Fellini, the Quinn story is just wonderful, that Fellini arrives and Quinn says, well, let me see the script. So Fellini goes, well, I've got a page here, and wait a minute, I've got one here, and he's taking out these scraps of paper.
The Italian way in filmmaking, yes. Well, I remember, always being aware of Anthony Quinn as an actor, but I also remember that La Strada, The Road, was the first movie that really kind of put everybody's focus on him.
True. Well, because he had been a supporting actor pretty much all the time. I mean, even Viva Zapata, when he won the Oscar, was a small role.
Yeah.
And so playing Attila in the Dino De Laurentiis film was a big move for him. That was going to be a big step up. So it wasn't a great film, probably wasn't even a good film, but it was a starring role for him. But La Strada, the little thing that they would make,
was a great film.
And a starring role for him, and an international sensation.
Right.
So it really did put him on the map as a star and as a great actor.
Right. So let's see the film. Here it is from 1954, actually the first film to win an Academy Award in a new category established that year, honoring foreign language films. Here's Federico Fellini's La Strada, or The Road.